Hi there, it's Sandra here from the WLA on a rather cold and chilly afternoon, and I'm looking a little dark under the eyes today because I have got myself a beautiful new puppy, but he's not very sure about it all, and neither am I, quite frankly, but she is lovely, keeping me awake at night. Anyway, thought it was really interesting that I'm feeling a little out of sorts at the moment, and on the 9th of November it's National Stress Awareness Day. And it got me thinking about all the myriad of ways that we create stress in our lives and how do we cope with stress and so on and so forth. And tiredness is a really interesting one, isn't it? When we're feeling a little tired, not getting enough sleep, then we can cause us to be a little less productive and a little bit more stressed, I think. I do cope quite well without a lot of sleep actually, but feeling it a little bit today. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about one way in which you can perhaps start to mitigate some of your stress patterns and stress beliefs by talking about the way in which you prioritise your work. There's a really lovely activity that I often get clients who are feeling overwhelmed to do, and that's a time tracker. Now, you might have done this in your early management days when you had to look at, how do you use your time, and we sometimes forget to do it when we're a bit older and wiser. And it's really quite an powerful and important thing to do. Now, the way to do it is to actually track your actual time, not what your diary says. Because if you're anything like me, impromptu calls come along, you get emails that distract you, or Teams messages that pop up, or you need to go home to sort out a sick child, or you just need to get some fresh air. And our time can go out of the window all over the place. You might get a supplier or a team member that needs something from you. So our time is not what is in our diary. And we don't delegate this. If you have a PA, you don't delegate this to the PA. You actually track your time every hour to see exactly what you are doing. And if you get super clever, you can put a little smiley face or a sad face, depending on how you feel with the activity that you're doing. And then when you've got that data, it's really helpful to start to identify patterns, to start to see where you may be wasting those times. So how many impromptu meetings do you set? Does that mean that you're not setting the right boundaries around your work? Are you someone that struggles to say no? Are you a people pleaser? Are you somebody that wants everyone else to be okay? Are you somebody who wants to be busy? And this is a bit of a peril of many senior leaders, I find, that it's not always that they want to be busy, but it seems to be the busier you are, the more hard you are to get hold of, then obviously that's a good thing. And it isn't actually, because it takes its toll on your body. Your body can't cope, especially women actually, because we haven't got the same levels of testosterone that men have, that they need, or that is needed to be focused, to be driven and to be on it. We can do it for a period of time, but not all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons so many women burn out, because we are always feeling we need to be on it, and we wrap our identity as a leader up in being busy. And is that a belief you have? Because a lot of the tracking of the time starts to also to tap into your beliefs. You may also be stuck in the weeds and in the doing, and you might not have done a helicopter view. You might not have a clear enough strategy, vision, direction, and you may get being pulled into sorting out the nitty-gritty, and before you know it, the day has gone again. And then there's things like your own biorhythms in terms of when you are at your most productive and at your least productive. And you may be somebody that's an early bird that wakes up super early and can blast a load of great stuff, and that's when you should do your best thinking. Or you may be a night owl that can't really get up in the morning. My brother's like this. He runs a business, and he runs his business seemingly at night and into the early hours in the morning, but that's when he is at his best self. So we are all very different, and we can't all have the same structure, the same routine, and the same approach that everybody else does. We really have to get a handle on how we're using the time that we've got, where we're spending it, and then what are the many strategies we can do to change it. And there's tons of things you can do, and there's loads of resources out there. But I think, again, we've got to tie it in with our personality, with our strengths, with how we like to work. Some of us are strong, structured planners. Others are more creative and prefer to brainstorm and look around the picture, like to make the connections with things. us. Other of us like to think alone. Others want us to do our thinking with other people. And it goes on and on and on. And you know what? It's no wonder that we have this stress pandemic, if you like. You know, so many of us do get really quite stressed because we're trying to conform to a system and an approach that might not be suitable to us. And as I say, I like to work with clients to see who are you at your best, and what's the environment, the landscape that enables you to shine and for you to be your most productive. Where is that, and what is it that you're doing, and what's your physical energy needed when you're in high focus mode, and also when you're in high creative mode. So, oh my goodness, there's so much in it, isn't there, as a topic. So my suggestion for you is just to take some time over the next week, and if you could do 2, big gold star, to look at where you are actually spending your time, but do it for real. You'll find you'll get some resistance to doing it. You'll find you'll suddenly be at 6 o'clock and you'll think, oh God, what have I done this afternoon? But you really should, not should, that's the wrong word. If you are inspired to reduce your stress and be more productive, this is a brilliant starting point. So I'd love to hear your top tips, if you have any top tips or perhaps the one change you made to make help yourself to be that much more productive, and what are some of your habits that you've implemented to reduce your stress, but also how do you make the most of the 24 hours in a day. And so interesting, look, there behind me there is the moon. It's beautiful, probably doesn't come up on here very often, and the moon has its own cycle, doesn't it? A 28-day cycle thereabouts, when it's up and it's full and it's half and it's down, and it has its own sort of rhythm and routine. And yes, it might not be the best analogy, but what's your routine for being your most productive self? So hope you enjoyed that. Please like, please subscribe, and tell me any of your top tips. I love to hear from you. You take care. Thanks. Bye.